Hi, back with another backstage story. I don't know why I'm calling these backstage stories because most of them happen on stage, but this is one of my favorites. There was a movie called The Bad Seed, and actually it was based on a play. And it talked a lot about nature versus nurture, and it was about this little girl who was adopted, and she was really evil, and she did really bad things. And one of the things she did was she killed this other little boy in her class by drowning him. I think he fell off a dock, and she sort of hit his hands as he was holding on with her shoe, and he fell in, so she could get his award that he got for some scholastic thing. So in that play, I played that little boy's mother, and it's one of my favorite parts because it was 2 scenes, each about 10 minutes long at the most, but they were 2 really kick-ass scenes, and you know, I got to get out there, rip up the stage, and get off. But it was also one of the most grueling because generally when I approach a role, I approach it, I try to put myself into the shoes of the character. That's pretty simple. I am a very empathetic person. It's very easy for me to put myself in someone else's shoes, so that's the method that I use when I'm approaching a role. However, my son in the play, my character's son, was the same age as my son in real life, and I just couldn't go there. So I actually used what they call the method, where I sense memory. I brought a lot of, I used a really bad breakup, a really painful breakup as to get my emotion going. So I would get to that point where I was just on the verge of crying, just pushing it down, and then I had to go out there and be drunk, which was really funny. So anyway, what happened was, when the woman, the mother of this bad little girl, let me in the house, the doorknob had broken off at some point during that production. So when she closed the door, somehow, don't ask me why, this door had no business having one of those little slidey locks. It got locked. So I come in and I'm talking, and I sit down, and every night I would pour myself a drink, and as it was timed perfectly, I would move my hand away with the bottle, and the little girl would come in. Well, she couldn't come in because it was locked, and she didn't know what to do. So I sit there and I pour myself a drink, and she doesn't come in, so I'm like, okay. So I pour some more because I didn't fill it up, and the audience laughed. And so finally the little girl knocks. She doesn't know what else to do, so she knocks, and nobody does anything. The neighbor's sitting there, the mother's standing there. She was a new actress. I mean, she hadn't been in many shows. She froze. So I don't know where it came from. I was just completely in character. I just went, well, aren't you going to get the door? And the mother unfroze, ran, opened the door. So the girl comes in, and I'm supposed to say, oh, come here, because I knew this little girl killed my son, and that's why I'm there. So I have her sitting on the couch with me. It just cracks me up every time I think about it. She was like this, looking at me, trying so hard not to laugh, and she was looking into my eyes going, and so of course I was trying not to laugh, and we're looking at each other, and I'm like, so you're the little girl who blah 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 whatever. That was one of the funniest mess ups on stage that I've ever experienced. And you know, it's almost always has to do with a technical thing, like a prop piece or a set piece, and that's what happened. It was funny.